Size 38, that's my modification. Pussy right, she put your name on the houses. I open 10 Congress and put bullets in the houses. Be the right students, that's how we students eat. My face was 6 months or 7. But then she got so many speech, she first about down like me. That's what I see. I didn't mean to get speech, just like me. Like me. Just make it shot like damn. Why you like shorty? I'm just so sick of her. Never mind, shut your ass perpendicular. I'm a hustler. Say this shit like supposed to have shit. You know, slush. You understand? Crazy going with this shit. I'm from the West. Follow my captain doors. Land of pain, torture. No shore than fucking water. Fuck borders. PDS, protect, slaughter. Take sons and daughters. Nigga give them all some return. Niggas learn. Till they lay in the earth. Babylon. Do not. You belong to me. Okay. Niggas too thirsty to be swallowed. I ain't took a few, but he came out over, I ain't took a beater. These niggas so kid, but they really need fear. Because I got no shit for the hitters. If you ain't a bad bitch, get the fuck up a this. Two-step with a tree drip. Keep a circumcision in my tree face. I would keep you a piece of shit. When I dip, you dip, we dip. It's that all shit that I seen in my bitch. No 6ix9ine, we don't see no shit. Gotta love that face. Social distance, I love my space. But can't get the fuck out my face. And you never switching up on all days. You belong to me. See, baby, one more time. Gotta love that face. Social distance, I love my space. I can't get the fuck out my face. You never switching up on my face. You belong to me. One more time for the ladies in the back, baby.
All right, clap it up. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yashar Barakatah. Why Yahweh Shemal Atah Hashem Yahushai. It's Officer Abraham of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street. I'm not going to be able to use this mic. No sweat. Because I'm going to definitely have to stand in front of this screen here, right? I'm going to make sure that all right. I want to make sure that everybody can see the board. This, of course, is the Lashawan Qadash class. Everybody clap it up. I've walked in and come out tonight, you understand, to get the language that our forefathers spoke, to get back to our real, true nationality, our real culture. You understand? Our true language that has been stripped from us. You understand? That has been taken from us. And now bastardized through, with the so-called Jewish man taking our language and bastardizing and making sounds that it doesn't, that this language does not have, that our language does not have. I want to pull a couple of scriptures before we go into the language class. Of course, Zephaniah 2:1. We're going to pull that, and let's read that first.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together.
Gather together, right? We should all gather together. This is exactly what we should be doing during this time where the earth, this society is in turmoil. Things are going on this earth that are letting blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians know that we should all be gathering together. Right. No matter what, you understand, your differences are, we should all be putting aside those differences and gathering together. Right. The Christian pastor is not telling us to all gather together. Let me fix this 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. So I can see it. That's better. The Christian pastor is not telling us to gather together. The Christian pastor is only advocating for you to come to his, building or his, where he has, his, gathering at. You understand? Right. He's only advocating for you to come where he has his functions at. So you can give him your money. He's not doing what the ISUPK is doing. Right. It's saying all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians come together. You understand? He's not doing it. He's not telling us, the Christian pastors, our leaders are not telling us to follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. He's definitely not saying to get back to our language. You understand? Right. Day in that, I'm bringing it out in class. I saw a video today teaching people how to do that little hucklebuck dance in the church, in the Christian brother. I'm gonna pull the full video and I'm gonna make sure I got the camera set up and everything set up right to where I can fully break down this video where this brother is going into how you supposed to catch the so-called Holy Ghost in the Christian church, which proves that it's false and it's a lie, man. Right. You understand? That's what the Christian church is doing. When really we should be gathering ourselves together, which is exactly what Commander General Yohana has done in with the ISUPK. With the power of the Most High. You understand? Under Christ. And gathering us right there. You understand? Keep going.
Yeah, gather together, O nation, not desired.
And we are the ones that's not desired. You can still tell that we are not desired. We're the only ones that fit that description, that we are not desired. Right. You understand? No matter how much we try to love the other nations, no matter how much we try to join the oppressor, no matter how much we try to forgive him or try to show leniency to him and what he's done to our nation, he still is we are the undesired. Right. Look at the brothers and sisters that are suffering on the border, man. Right. After they done destroyed the Hispanics and the Latinos and the Taino Indians, man, right, they still come back again and lock them up in cages on the border. Right. Look at your fathers and your uncles that are locked up in cages in these prisons, man, mm-hmm, where they locked up for marijuana possession and marijuana and drug and nonviolent crimes. Getting put in prison with killers and murderers. Right. And go ahead.
Right. What's it going now? So then what they start doing now is it boomeranged on them. So the drug that they put in our community is back on them, but they don't put their people in prison. They give them
right. They give them leniency because drug addiction, even the so-called oppressor knows that it's a mental issue. Right. You understand? It's a sickness that needs to be treated with therapy. That's right, sir. You understand? With medical treatment. Right. You understand? To self-medicate, that's what self-medicate means. Is to take medicine, misuse medicine. Right. You understand? That's what self-medicate means. It's a misused medicine. You understand? Opioids is in medicine, man. Right. Opioids is what is painkillers. Right. You understand? So like all of this, we fit these descriptions of the nation not desired, man.
That's right.
So we should be the ones gathering together. And one of the ways we gather together and one of the ways we come back our nationality is to learn our language.
That's right.
You understand? Now, drop that pull in Kings where it was an abomination, where of course it's talking about Solomon, right? That it's saying we learned the language of Ashdod and Ammon, and they spoke a mixed language of the Hebrew and Ashdod, Hebrew and Ammon. It was an abomination. And I think it may be in Kings, it may be in Jeremiah as well. Nehemiah, that's it. Go ahead.
Come. This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 24. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod.
Skip. A verse above it. Show you, this to show you how it was an abomination for us to blend in, and integration is an abomination to the Most High. You understand? For us to join with these other nations, the Most High didn't ordain that. He never ordained, or he never was behind us joining with the other nations, holding hands with the other nations. Now, he did allow us to do business with the other nations. You can do business with them, you understand? But you, at the end of the day, you are to separate and go back to your nation. Go ahead. Where you at? The verse above.
Yes, I have to go to the whole chapter.
Yeah. Come. Salaki. When you pull a scripture, please pull the whole chapter. You know what I'm saying? So then that way, if you have to skip a verse above it, and you can do that without, you know what I'm saying, really quickly. We'll wait for the brother to get it, and when you get it, tell him where you at. 13 and 23. Should be Nehemiah 13 and 23, right? You got a Bible? Yeah, go ahead. Let Bible go ahead.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 23. In those days.
Yeah, there we go. In those days, right? It's talking about the days of Nehemiah. Go ahead.
Also
I saw, right?
Also saw I.
Right?
Jews that had married wives.
So now, this is Nehemiah seeing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the nation of Israel, marrying, which was a sin, marrying outside of the nation. Go ahead.
Married wives of Ashdod.
Ashdod, which was another nation. Go ahead.
Of Ammon.
And
of Moab.
Man, hey, look, marrying Ashdod, which Salaki, I have to go back and see which nation is Ashdod. I think it's a white nation. You understand? I gotta research that to see. But we all know who Moab is. It's the so-called Chinese. We all know who Ammon is. It's the so-called Japanese, right? So now what's happening today? Brothers will, when they come, everybody loves Sailor Moon. We grew up on Sailor Moon and all these. My daughter right now to this day loves anime. Loves anime right now. You got young folk right now hooked on anime right now. Why? Because it was going on back then. Brothers and sisters love Ammon and Moab. Marrying. You understand? This was going on. And Nehemiah saw it. And he had to speak on it. Go ahead.
Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle married an Asian woman. Right? And Nehemiah saw it. And he had to speak on it. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And their children spake.
And their children what?
Spake.
And their children were speaking. Go ahead.
Half
what?
Half in the speech of Ashdod.
Half in the speech of Ashdod. Half in the speech of another nation. Go ahead.
And could not speak.
could not speak, go ahead,
in the Jews' language.
in our own language, man.
Dang.
You understand? This is so important. That's why the Lord said it's an abomination to marry outside of your race. Why? Because your children will come up speaking another language, man. They'll come up torn between, this other nation versus their own language.
Right.
Now we got to come back. We got to come back generations later and teach the Lashawan Qadash, which I never heard what a Lashawan Qadash was until Commander General Yohanan and ISUPK.
That's right.
I didn't even know what it was. When they told me that the Lashawan meant holy, that's what this means. Lashawan means holy in the Hebrew. Qadash, go ahead. Salaki. Qadash. Language. That's why you are the rightful one. You the one. You the chosen. You understand? Qadash is holy. You understand? Tongue, right? Not Salaki.
Nah, Qadash is holy, but I'm talking about
Lashawan is tongue. Or language. Yeah, tongue or language. Am I spelling this right? Right? Right. So, this is the tongue or the language that's holy, man, that's set apart from the other languages. You understand? So, this is the language of the Hebrew. That's right. And that's why it's called the Lashawan Qadash. Lashawan means language, Qadash meaning holy. Right. So, we had to come back and we got now learn the Lashawan Qadash. And when I say we, meaning me included. You see I'm learning it with you. You understand? I'm learning it right along with you. This is not something that's beyond me being a teacher. You understand? We learning it together. And that's why I pull the scripture, gather together, man. That's right. Gather together, O nation not desired. And now in Nehemiah is saying that in the time that he observed our nation marrying the so-called Ashdod, the nation of Ashdod, and the Ammonites and the Moabites, he saw our nation coming up, speaking half Ashdod and half Ammon, and they couldn't speak the Hebrew. Keep going, brother.
But according to the language of each people.
Mm-hmm. Why? Because you had those other nations influencing their children. So when the spouses were saying, Lashawan Qadash, Shalom, you had the ones that was married to going, no, I hate those, but speaking to them in their language. Just like now, when you see Hispanics marry, a lot of times they marry American men. Hispanic women will marry American men. Hispanic men will marry American women. Right. They have children, and it's amazing to see how those children come up, and the American side of that family is influential to the child. Right. Where the child grows up and don't know how to speak Spanish. Right. Whether it be the father or the mother. Right. The mother can be Spanish or the father can be Hispanic. But the child grows up speaking English. Right. You understand? The schools is in English. So the child is forced to drop their native tongue. You understand? We're not advocating. Spanish is not our native tongue either. We're not saying don't learn Spanish, but I'm just giving you an example. Now, one of the first things we're going to do, we're going to start off like we do every class by saying the alphabet. We're going to go down each brother, each sister is going to say the alphabet one by one, right? We're going to keep this fresh in our mind. We're going to start it with right here with Boz. Then we're going to move to Shabayah. So, of course, if you don't have a sheet, if you don't have an alphabet sheet, let me know. If you don't have an alphabet sheet, let me know. 1 second. 1 second. Who else needs an alphabet sheet? All right. Everybody get an alphabet sheet. We're going to start one by one saying the alphabet. Make sure we up to speed on the alphabet, right? Go ahead.
Ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, ha, za, kwa, ra, sha, da.
Most High in Christ. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. You want to make sure you pronounce that ka. You want to make sure you pronounce the ka. Like you want to make sure you give a distinction between the ka and the ka. You understand? One ka and the ka. Hey, there's plenty of room. Hawk it out there. You understand? We're going to get it right. All right, everybody, y'all go ahead.
Ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ha, ka, la.
Okay, so like, you see what I'm saying? You want to make sure you give a distinction between the ka, and the ka. The ka and the ka. You got to give a distinction between the two, or you just say the same letter over again.
No,
See what I'm saying? Keep going.
Ka, la, ma, na, za, I, wa, za, ka, ra, ha, wa.
That's the qua. You don't have to, that's the qua. You understand?
Ka.
Go ahead.
Ra, sha, da.
Most High in Christ. Give him a hand. All right. Go ahead, sis. Most High in Christ. And last up.
Ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, za, kwa, ra, sha, da.
Most High in Christ. Good job. Good job. All right, tonight, of course, we're gonna go into the greeting tonight. Of course, there's a greeting that every brother and every sister gives when they greet each other, and this is one of the first things we learn coming into the school. It's the greeting for brothers, brother to brother. If a brother comes and greets another brother, he'll say Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah, which means peace. The Lord in the name, peace, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless you. Blessings upon you. You understand? Of course, if the brother meets a sister or sister to sister, then that greeting changes slightly. And it's Shalom, Yahweh Shamar al-Athah by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So if a brother meets a sister, or if a sister greets a sister, or if a sister greets a brother, she will say, or he will say, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar al-Athah by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So really, as far as the greetings go, the sisters never change. The sisters always say, Yahweh Shamar al-Athah by Hashem Yahweh Shai. It's the brothers that have to go between the two. Because if a brother meets a brother, or greets a brother, he'll say, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. But if a brother meets a sister, he'll say, Yahweh Shamar al-Athah by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shamar al-Athah by Hashem Yahweh Shai means Yahweh watch over you in the name of Christ. That's what it means. So we're going to go over first. We're going to go over both of those greetings. So the first one is for the brothers, of course, Shalom, and we're going to do it both in the Hebrew and in the English. Shalom means peace in the Hebrew. This is the English way we write Shalom, right? It means peace. Brothers always say this. We've been saying it ever since. We even do it today. Still to this day, you see brothers take pictures and they be like, brothers always say this. This has been a staple for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians forever. Brothers always say peace. We always say this. This is always a staple for brothers, right? So, Shalom in the Hebrew is this. You got the Shah, which is a W, right? Salakia. I'm going to the Assyrian first. Forgive me. So you got the Shah, right? The La, This is the ancient. The Khan. The character for the Shah in the Assyrian and in the ancient is a W-looking letter, right? A character that looks like a W. It's a little different in the Assyrian, but we'll get to that. The La in the ancient is always easier because it looks like an L, right? So now, Shalom, you have the Ma, right? Shalom. Of course, you don't forget about your connectors. Right. Never forget about the connectors. Of course, this connects two letters, right? That's what looks like a smiley face, right? Y'all remember that from last week? Of course, the frown, or what looks like a frown, separates am I spelling that right? Ah! All right. That's the separator, right? That means you pronounce this letter by itself. Shah. Long. This is the Shah. That's the La. And that's the Ma. When you have a connector, you say the first letter So, long. Y'all understand?
No.
You say the first letter and make the sound of the second letter is being connected to. Shalom. All right. Of course, this is we're going over the greeting for the brothers, right? So what's the next word of the greeting for the brothers? Go ahead.
Yahweh.
Yahweh, right? Yahweh. So now we have the Yah, the Ha, the Wa, and the Ha. Remember this. This is the Most High's name. Forget what you heard about, you understand? Yahweh. Forget what you heard the Christian church say about we don't know his name. You know, we never, his name is God and Lord. Forget about that. His name is Yahweh. You understand? Yahweh means, who knows what Yahweh means? Who can tell me what Yahweh means? Come on, text passage.
He is.
Oh no.
Judah thanks.
That's Yahweh.
Jesus.
Yahweh means the power. Now, when I say the power, you know how you say the man? You know how you say the fire hose coming and that's the man, right? Okay, it's not the power like it's a power. It's the power. It's the power that's above all powers. You understand? It's the authority that's above all authorities. It's the power. If you understand. If you get it, if you put it, I'm painting a good picture for you, that's what Yahweh means. The power. You understand? It's the man. It's the power. You understand?
Okay.
So that's what Yahweh means. The power. All right? So we got Shalom, Yahweh. What's next? Ba, which is Ba is exactly what it is. Oh, a lot. Ba, right?
Okay.
Ba means what? There we go, sis. Come on now. In. Ba means in. Ha means
The.
Right? What's next? Yeah, you got it. Right? Shum. Right? Which means,
Name.
there you go. There we have it. Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'ashem. What's next? Yahweh Shai. And Yahushua means Christ or what? Notice what I give it to you, Savior. Right? So now, let's write that in the Hebrew. We might have to erase this and draw it again. Hold on 1 second. We're moving pretty fast. We're moving through it. We're moving through it. I might have to get a wet towel, It's wiping off, but it's erasing, but it's not erasing. So what we got? Yahushua, right? So we got Yahushua, which means Christ or Savior. So now we got the Yah, the Ha, and Salakia. I have not been going over this in the Assyrian at all. Okay. So we have the Yah, the Ha, the Wa, the Shah, and the I. The connectors and the separators are Yah, Ha, Wa, Shah. Y'all understand that? Y'all get that? Yah, Ha, Wa, Shah. We got to start writing these in the Assyrian. So, Yah is just like that. It's a small upside down L. Yah, the Ha is like an N, but it's not connected. So a good way to try to write it is to make like a 7 and then come right below the N and make the line down. See what I did? It's a lot. I'm gonna put my sheet down. So you have the Yah, Ha, is not like a 7, but the tail end of it goes up like that. Y'all see that? Make it a little bit better for you. See how that is in the Assyrian? Yahweh. Y'all see? And of course, we have the Shah, looks basically like a W, but it has little tails hooked onto it, like that. Like this. And this comes down just like that. I see that? That's the Shah in the Hebrew. Y'all see? And of course the I looks like this right here. So that's the Yah, Ha, Wah, Shah. Of course, there's no connectors. When you see this written in the Torah, you're gonna see it with all kind of dots. You're gonna see it with squigglies and all kind of craziness around it. This is what you're looking at. This is what you're looking at. All right? Yahweh Shai. Everybody see this, right? All right. So we're going to go back. We're going to have to backtrack. We're going to have to get the first part of the greeting because we didn't do it in the Assyrian, okay? So, of course, shalom in the Assyrian, let me do that a little bit better. Wow. Y'all see that? Now here's where we get to all the other fake groups, because this is where we're going to get to where people say shalom, right? So now you have the law in the Hebrew, so it's like this. You have the Salaki. Bring it down far enough. That's the law. Now, sometimes in the Assyrian, you will see you will see the wa and then the ma. Of course, you know it's at the end of the word, right? Captain Qadash does a great, excellent breakdown. All you got to do is search. Search the breakdown and you'll find that sometimes you will see Shala wa ma. You'll see it Shala wa ma, and you'll see it spelled like this. You understand? You'll see it spelled like this in some instances in the Torah. Because during the translations, depending on what time you see the word, you'll see it spelled like this. And that's why fake Israelites say Shalom. That's why they say it. However, it's not the correct way you say Shalom. Because even in the Assyrian Hebrew, if you notice these connectors, the la and the wa, all of this is connected. And when you see the little dots and the squigglies, the squiggly wigglies, it'll silence this wa out. So it becomes shalom, shalom, shalom. It all runs together. So you really don't pronounce the Y. You ever heard of a silent, a silent letter in a word? That's what this becomes. So you never say shalom, just like you don't say banana. You understand? That's why he makes that comparison. You don't say shalom, just like you don't say banana. You say banana because that second N is silent, just like the wa is silent. So, and also you'll see this word spelled just like that. You'll see it there like this too. Because the Assyrians were trying to copy the Hebrew. And of course, plus FO2. You understand? And they bastardized our language. And so that's why you'll see it both ways. You understand? This is the correct way. Shalom. That's it. So there's the Assyrian for shalom. Yahweh. In the Assyrian, you have the Yah, right? You have the Ha. Always try to check up. That's better. You have the Yah, the Ha, the Wa, and then what? Another Ha, because again, the Ha on the end of the word is silent. Yahweh. The two letters are connected. Everybody see that? We'll go on with the Ba in. The Ba in the Assyrian is just that letter Ba. Ha, Bahashem. That's it. Shum is name, right? Everybody have Shum for name, right? Shum. And now, would this be correct? Why wouldn't that be correct?
That him is fluent is not at the end of the word.
Right. Exactly. It's not coming, it's at the end of the word. The ma is coming at the end of the word. So you would have to use that square. That's shum. That would be shum. Bahasham. In the name. In the name, we already got Yahweh Shai, right? In the Assyrian, right? I see everybody erasing and that's because the teacher can't write. I do a little bit better on the board. However, I think I do really better on paper. Paper I show my penmanship really well on paper. I never was good on the board. What you think? I don't what? Jacked up. Okay, all right. Right there, I was shot. Not bad. It's legible. All right. So we're gonna move on, right? We're gonna move on to the greeting for the sisters, okay? Go ahead. Salak. Barak is bless or praise, right? Barak in the ancient, the Ba, the Ra. Ba and Ra are easy to remember because they're just alike. Is that triangle? Is the triangle shape where the Ba comes down like a G, like a backwards G. The Ra comes straight down. So if you got the Ba and the Ra together, you good. Ba, Ra. All right. The Ka. So you would have to do the K in the ancient. You would have to do the circle and just put your little B in the middle like that, right? The connectors go like this, Ba, Ra.
So like you said, that be blessed.
Right. Bless or praise. This means bless or praise. Depending on what the context.
But in our greeting, it's blessed.
Yes. And the greeting is blessed. All right. In the Assyrian, it's Ba. The 7 is the Ra. The Ka coming at the end of the word, Salaki, right? So it's this. You see how the Ra and the Ka look alike? But you can tell because the Ra has that little curve and it's longer and it slants like this. But the Ka coming at the end of the word is just straight. It's just square. It's just straight up and down. You understand? There's no curvature, no slant when it comes down. That's the difference. And when you see it printed, you're gonna see the same thing. You're gonna see when it's printed, you're gonna see that the raw, it's gonna look really fancy. But the car, when it comes at the end of the word, it's gonna look real rigid. It's gonna look real rigid when it's printed. And that's what you'll see. You'll see the difference in the two like this. The raw and the car. You understand? You'll see them just like that when it's printed. So it won't be hard to tell, you know, if you pay attention to detail and you come to class, right? You'll be able to tell the difference between the raw and the car every time. Because the raw is gonna have these curvatures and these slants in it where the car doesn't. You understand? Now you know if the car comes in the middle of a word, what does the car look like in the middle of a word? Y'all look at it. Go ahead and tell me. It looks like a what? No. The car in the middle of a word looks like a what? Y'all learn how to associate. Yes, it looks like a backward C. That's what the car looks like in the Assyrian. It's okay, y'all learn how to associate these characters with the English language. That's how you're going to remember. That's how you're going to remember these letters, because the car looks like a backward C when it comes in the middle of a word. It just looks like a backward C. It's exactly what it looks like. In the ancient, it looks like that backward C, but it has a little V in the middle. You see? That's the difference between the Assyrian and the ancient right here. That's the difference. It's not much. You see what the Assyrians did? See, it's not much. These are pictographs. This is a picture language. You understand? You see how when you go into when you see those History Channel, those caves where they was drawing pictures and stick in, they try to make us seem like all barbaric. But these were they actually trying to dumb down. They actually trying to act like we were just in the cave, just ooh. We was not. We were writing. These were ancient texts that took them many years to decipher. You understand? And when they finally figured out that we were actually writing paragraphs, that we were writing sentences, it blew the roof off. You know what I'm saying? And they figured out that these pictographs was where language comes from. You know what I'm saying? That's why a P looks like a P and a B looks like a B. You understand? Go ahead.
Yeah, the English language reject the A, that's the sideways A.
Right.
Reject the Z, the L.
Right.
The M and the N.
Right. All of it looks the same. The V, I mean, if you look at the ancient Hebrew, you'll see how all language letters comes from this ancient Hebrew. You'll see, even when you look at Russian. When you look at Russian and Greek letters, they all come from the ancient Hebrew. Everything comes from us. Go ahead.
A black man is the one that gave the Russians their language. Alexander Pushkin. It was a brother.
Brother, let me say, because he was an Israelite.
Right.
That's fine. That's fine. You understand? All this come. You're learning. What you're learning is you're learning, and as we get into the class, you'll learn that this is originally from Eber, Ibar, which was the original language before the Most High, confused the languages. Right. You understand? That's where the word Hebrew comes from. All of this comes from our ancient language, our way of communicating, which we were writing before anyone else was. Since the time of Adam, we've been writing things down. You understand? That's what Adam did. Adam took what he saw in the stars and he wrote it down.
Right.
He made a language a language of pictographs that we could read, that we could record things and read it for later and come back to it. You understand? That's what our forefathers did for us. And through slavery and through oppression and through robbery and rape and murder, our oppressor has taken this away from us. That's why it's so important. That's why it's so important for us to learn this bit of information that we're learning. Scholars pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go sit in somebody's lecture class to learn this. You know how many years those scholars study those pictographs, those little crows and stuff in the Egyptian history that lead back to this? Many years, 9 years, they study pictographs and pictures that lead back to this. They pay hundreds of dollars. On the back of the Apocrypha is printed Cambridge University. You understand? This is priceless. This is priceless. And it belongs to us. It belongs to us. So now, Barak Atah, the last part is you. Atah, right? So in the ancient, of course, this word means you. This word means you. So of course, in the ancient is and then you have the tha with a cross-looking character, and the ha, tha. In the ancient, it'll look like this. The tha in the ancient looks like the ha, but notice something. All right. See what happens here? You don't have the space, and you have to carry the top tail, you have to carry that out. You have to carry that out. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do that. That's incorrect. That's incorrect. And also too, this end has to be straight. You have to come to the middle of here, and that has to hook out. However you do it. However you do it, it has to hook out. It has to hook out. If you notice, if you see how it's printed, if you look at your sheet, Where it says handwritten, see handwritten? See how it comes out at the end on handwritten? So it must be a distinction between this and this when you write it. Okay? Must be a distinction. And at the end, we have the ha. Of course, everybody knows how to write that. A tha. Does everybody know why there's a ha at the end of that? That's a question I wanted to ask you. Do you know why there's a ha at the end of that ancient? You see here, a tha. You know why there's a ha there?
I never knew why they had to hide in some words in that, but they all ended I don't know the difference.
Anybody notice? Come on, N.W.O.
I may be wrong, but is it, like the difference between like singular and plural?
Right? You tried. That's good. That's good. I want y'all to try. So give a sister a hand for trying. Never not try. But, okay. You have to understand that each letter is not like the English. This is not the English language. So the way you separate this language is the ah is the ah. So look. The ah is separated here. Do everybody see that? Ah is A-H. That's the letter translated into English. The tha is T-H what? The letter tha is what in the English? If you wrote the letter tha out in English, what would you write?
A?
Yes, you would write T-H-A. So now, if you write H-A and the tha is T-H-A, why is there a ha on the end of a tha? Come on, Shabbai Holla.
It would say a thug instead of a tha.
Right. That's exactly right, because there's a ha there. It's a ha there. Remember, tha is T-H-A, but the word of tha is spelled A-H-T-H-A-H. There's a ha on the end of this word. That's why it's a tha versus a tha. You get it? This is a connector. That's why right here, there's a connector.
Salah.
The H is silent. Go ahead.
So that's why it's General Yohana instead of General Yohana.
Right.
I get it.
There's an H on the end of his name.
There is an H.
Yohana. Oh, well, it's General Yohana instead of General Yohana.
Okay. So there's an H and no H.
There's no H.
Right.
Right. When you see there's a ha on the end of the word, you have to put the ha there.
Right. Okay.
You understand? You have to put that ha there. Tha is T-H-A. This word is you, but it has a ha on the end of it. You understand? Come on.
That's like, okay, so thug right there. That's like, what we say, Baba Kashab. A lot of people ending with A, but it's supposed to be H over here.
It's supposed to be an H. A lot of people do that.
It'd be like Baraka Thug, but it's supposed to be Baraka Thug.
It's supposed to be Barakatah. It's an H on the end of Barakatah. Right. Thawada is another one. Thawada is another one. I think that's what we might go into. We'll go into that. But there's ha's on the end of certain words that you have to pronounce, that you have to put there when you spell them. Go ahead.
So it should be Yahweh, not Yahweh.
Right. It's Yahweh, and that's why when we spell Yahweh, we put the ha on the end.
Right.
Because there's a ha there. You understand? There's a ha on the end of the word, and the connector indicates that. So you have to remember that the tha, this is not, and the reason why it's confusing is because in the English language, T is T. In the English language, TH is TH. Is in the English language. The is not the in the English language. However, that's what makes the Hebrew so simple. It's basic. It's the correct way. It's the correct language. You understand? Because tha is tha. This is tha. This is tha. This. What is this? This is. It's two consonants put together. You understand? English is a very complicated language.
Right.
English is a language of imbeciles. You understand? Where you can have, this is how stupid the English language is. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
What is this? What is this? So if I'm finished with something, what am I? So if I just threw something, if I threw a ball to her, then what am I? Yeah. Okay. So now, what the hell is the English language is dumb and stupid. You understand? So if I'm done with something, I'm through. If I just thrown a ball, I just threw it. This is the same word. You understand? And also too, you saying the letters O-U-G-H makes the sound oo. Alright.
Rough.
What sound does that make?
Take the TH off. The top.
What sound does that make? Ooh. It makes the sound ooh. The language is stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb and stupid. Go ahead.
Lisa, I got a preset.
Come on with it.
It's the
Please. The perfect time, Mr. Shabbat, the perfect time for a precept because I'm good and bad right now.
Come on, God. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as the eagle, right? Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
You don't understand this. You don't understand it. I'm going to tell you another thing you don't understand. Which way is the correct way of spelling receipt?
I before E.
I before E, except after. That is so damn stupid. What you gonna tell me? Why not just do this? Why not just do this? Receive. An E on the end of the word makes this a long vowel sound. Why you even got vowels in the first place? Let English language. I can go on and on for days about the English language and how stupid it is, and how many rules that apply to nothing. You understand? And they break their own rules that they make. The Hebrew is a holy tongue, man. It's simple, it's basic, and it's pure. That's the word that I'm trying to use. It's pure and it's pure. It's speaking in its purest form. You understand? You will never find, you cannot find in the Hebrew language a word that's spelled the same as another word, but it means two different things. There's no synonyms and homonyms in the English language. There's no words that spell the same but mean different in the Hebrew. There's no two words that spell different but mean the same. Homonyms that in the Hebrew. It doesn't exist. If it means different, it's spelled different. You understand? This is a pure language, man. Go ahead.
That's right. Ain't no profane words in Hebrew either. Ain't no cuss words in Hebrew, right? Like according to English, like words you can't say because
it depends on what's profanity. Because profanity back then, bastard is profanity.
No, I'm talking about like the English definition for profanity, like those type
I have to check on that because there's words. This language has words that, when they're said, means they're strong. Do you understand? Go ahead.
Let me say it better. There are no words in the Hebrew that it's a sin to say, right?
There's no words in the English language that's a sin to say. Profanity is not a sin. Period.
Right.
You understand? The Christian church is the ones that make saying shit, damn, fuck a sin.
Right.
You understand? I'm saying it like that on purpose.
Right.
You understand? Because those words to say are not sins at all.
Right.
You understand? Paul said in Corinthians 6 and 11, though I be rude and come on, pull the precept. Pull the precept on me. Since we on language and we on speech anyway, this is the Lashawan Qadash class. We can pull a precept on it. You understand? And profanity and language is rude speech. Like, you know, when someone says a bad word, you know, if people cover their mouth like, you're rude, that's rude. You understand? What Paul say about rude?
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 6. But though I be rude in speech.
Though I be what?
But though I be rude in speech.
Though I be what?
But though I be rude in speech. Yet not in knowledge.
But not in knowledge. Paul wasn't rude in his knowledge. You understand?
Right.
And Paul was never punished for his rude speech.
Right.
Christ never checked Paul for his rude speech. You understand? And Stephen, finish that out.
But we have been truly made manifest among you in all things.
Now, meaning thoroughly made manifest, meaning if they didn't think that they was men of God, they was made manifest. They was proven to be men of God.
Right.
If they didn't think that they was following the law, statutes, and commandments, they proved to be following the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Stephen was so rude in his speech, and I don't know if he was using profanity at all, but Stephen offended them so much, offended them so much that they dug a hole, put him in it, and stoned him to death.
Right.
You understand? And who was holding the coats? You understand? Who was holding the coats? While they were stoning Stephen to death. Who was holding the coats? The same nigga that said, though I be rude in speech. The same one. The same one that was Saul. and his name was changed to Paul. You understand? That same nigga. Same one. The same one. Him that said, though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge, was holding the coast. You understand? The same one had a thorn in the side. The thorn in the side was that he watched Stephen get murdered for what he said. And that's why Paul was so animated in what he said. It all makes sense. No sweat. So now where we at? Time check though.
We had 8:38.
Most time. We are.
The women's agreed.
You sure we?
We did have Sean finish the thought.
I thought, right? Okay. So we know about shalom, right? We know that it means peace, right? We know shalom, Yahweh, Shamar is the women's greeting, right? So Shamar, we're going to pick up the women's greeting with Shamar. Shamar in the English means to watch. Which I think the women's greeting is so, it's love, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when a warrior goes off to war, he wants the Most High to watch over his family, over his wife, over his daughters,
Right.
while he's away.
Right.
So he says to her, Shema, Yahweh Shema, watch. You know what I'm saying? May the Most High watch. You understand? So Shema, of course, in the ancient, you have the Shah. What we have next? The Ma. Ra. That's it. He the chosen. That's why he the chosen. I think I'm gonna put him on next Friday. That's right. He'll be getting the call. He'll be getting the call. That's what your mouth say. Shema, right? Shema. Again, on the connector, you pronounce the first letter and make the sound of the second. Shema. You understand? Shema. It means to watch. Once you know we're getting far, is when we start to conjugate these verbs. You understand? This is a verb. When we start to say he watched, she watched, they watched, we watched. You understand? When you start to conjugate verbs, you know, you get pretty far in the Hebrew class. You understand? Shamar means to watch. What's the next word? Oh, Salaki, the Assyrian. Salaki. So we have the Assyrian. Remember, it looks like a W, but the W doesn't go in the middle. It goes to that left corner. The Shah. Now, somebody besides Bahamas, tell me what comes next.
Oh. Well, it looks like an O.
La. What's the letter that comes next? The Ma, right? The Ma comes next. But there's a difference. Now the Ma comes when? Now the Ma comes when? Come on, y'all.
Left and right.
It's always right and left. Hebrew is always right and left. So now, we've always been talking about the Ma coming when?
In the middle.
No, now it's coming in the middle. Sisters, it's your greeting. Salakia, that's inside. That's inside joke. She's funny as hell. So, what's the rule? What's the rule? Remember the rule, right? Come on. You got it. You got it.
If it's at the end.
If it's at the end of the word, then if it was at the end of the word, then we would put a what? Shabbat.
Oh.
Now it will be a what? It's not an O. It will be a what? Correct. It will be a what? N.W.O. It's okay, y'all. It's okay. It's okay. It's y'all making it difficult because it's another language and y'all making it difficult. Go ahead.
You said it would be the Syrian print.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, you're looking at the handwritten because I'm writing it like I'm writing it. Yeah. So it would be the handwritten. What you looking at the handwritten? Why? Why would it look like the D? Because what? You're right. Get a sister a hand. Get a sister a hand because she's right. It would look like that D because of what? Because it's in the middle. That's right. So it'll look something like this. It'll come down and kind of do like that. Oh, I was almost right. That's good enough. If you did that, that would be definitely accepted, right? Y'all know why we did that? Because I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead.
It's because that's not at the end of a sentence. So
because that's not at the end of the word, so it comes in the middle. So you have to take what's printed on the top line of the handwritten line, the top of what's the handwritten line. You have to take that. If it was coming at the end of the word, it would be just that square. Remember, y'all? It would be at just that square. This is what you would see printed in the Torah. It would just be that square. But because it's coming in the middle of the word, you would take the letter that as it is written on the top line of your alphabet sheet. On the upper line. I want to say the top line, but the upper line. Right?
Go on.
All right. So Sha, Ma, and somebody else besides Baaz. Who? The Ra. That's it.
So like I said, so you just wrote that around. Can you write a lot for me? In the series.
It's not.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Oh, it's a lot. In the Assyrian, it's like this. If you see it printed, it's gonna be like this.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be. That's why I say you're gonna be able to tell the difference. That's the ancient right here. This is the Assyrian right here.
They both kind of look like back and set.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the handwritten, I need to know how to do the handwritten. That's all.
Right. But when this right here, this is when you see it printed. This is the handwritten
Of the rock.
of the Assyrian.
Say,
This is the Ra, handwritten.
I mean the la. The la look like that too.
The La handwritten just looks like this because it's the ancient.
I mean in the series.
The Ra in the Assyrian handwritten looks like this.
The la in the Assyrian handwritten. Is that what you got at the bottom?
Looks like this. The La in the Assyrian printed looks like this.
In the handwritten.
In the handwritten it looks like this. I'm telling you. The La in the Assyrian. Okay. It may have on your page, it kind of on your page it kind of looks like this. Kind of looks like that. Oh, okay. Kind of looks like that.
That's the la.
That's the La.
Is that the print or the hand?
That's the hand. That's the handwritten. That's the handwritten. But this is the handwritten too, depending on who's writing. You see what I'm saying? You see how this comes up here?
So the line around the seam, you gotta put that tip on the top.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more embellished. It's a little bit more embellished. See what I'm saying? The law in the ancient, it looks like an L.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's the letter L. The Ra in the Assyrian, it's embellished. You see what I'm saying? How it comes up like this? It makes like a connector, and then it comes down like a letter 7. It looks like a letter 7. And you'll see it like that printed. You understand? You'll be able to tell, like, okay, when you see it handwritten, it'll look like this. When you see it printed, it'll look like this. You will never mistake the La and the Ra. You'll never mistake it because the La is an L. The La in handwritten, it'll look like this. You see what I'm saying? The Ra when it's printed, when you read it when it's printed, it'll be like, you know what I'm saying? It'll come down and it'll have the thick because it's printed. So it'll have a thick line to it, and it'll come down here. It's like calligraphy. You see what I'm saying? You'll always be able to tell the law when it's printed because it'll have this tail on the top end of it. You'll always be able to tell it. See what I'm saying? It'll always, you'll have, and once you start reading it, you'll always be able to tell that that's the law is printed. You see what I'm saying? But you can't write this the way it's printed in a book. You can't write that. You have to be a calligraphy drawer to write that. So the best way to do it is to do it like this. That's why when it's printed, when it's printed, you'll see it printed like this.
I want you to go ahead with something right.
Okay. You can write it like this, or you can kind of. I've seen it written both ways. If you remember on your test, it was written like this, and it was.
That's why it's a lie. That's why
You remember?
That's why I'm asking because of my test.
Right. And that's what I was trying to get y'all to see.
Confused.
That's why the test is very spiritual. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't study this Hebrew enough to know how it's printed and how, that's why this Lashawan Qadash class, that's why as you're studying for the test, you should have been logging into this Lashawan Qadash class. It makes a difference. That's why I Salakia, but I really didn't have a problem because I was logging into because what I'm making you do at the beginning of the class, at the time, Captain Kubal Moth was making us all do, was to say the alphabet. And I had to look at the page and I was asking him the question, the same thing. Why does this look the same way? And every Friday, he was breaking it down to me, personally. So when I took the test, I was like, oh, I knew the difference already. And the different words of the different tribes that had this printed versus this, I just put it. I just knew what it was because that's how I learned it. So when y'all come through and y'all didn't log into the class,
I was all on Hazahab Friday night Lashawan, but that's not, you got class in Charlotte too though. I had to go back and watch the class.
I understand. I got you. We gonna get you. We getting you right now. You understand? Shamar, right? Shamar, we got the ancient time check.
Not 8:55.
Okay, we're gonna finish this and we'll clip up class, right? Shamar, Al, right? Al is next. So now you'll write this. Al means Salaki. Al means over. Al means over. In the ancient, you have easy character to remember for the I is O. In the English, it's O. Right? Al and the L is the La. They both connected. Al. That's over. Right? Alright. So now, of course, in the Assyrian, is Al. I always like to that's how I like to write my laws. Because it's easy, you don't have to guess. Salakia. You know what I was doing? You know what I was doing? Let me make sure. I was right around.
That's what they're not the same.
Salakia. Salakia. You're the chosen. Next Friday. Salakia. Okay. This is the law. This is the law. This is the rod. Salakia. You're going to have to go through your notes and correct this. You're going to have to go through your notes and correct this. It's a good thing I don't want to brought a pencil. Salakia. This is the law. This is the rod. The law has a tail at the top. It comes around, and it's like almost like a question mark. The rod is very rigid. It has a point, and it comes out like a 7. Y'all got it? Y'all sure? Because we've been lying it. Wow. That's you. Figured so over is Al, right? That's the Assyrian. This is the ancient. There's a mark that goes over there as well. The rest is the same as the brothers repeat. When y'all get this, let me know. I'll correct yours. I'll go through and correct yours. I'll see it. So I'll correct you. So just let me know when y'all got it. You got it? All right. So after this, right? It's the same as what the brother said in their greeting. Al, Atha, Ba, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. So, Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Al, Atha, Ba, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. So that's the full greeting that the sisters, go ahead.
Time check, number 1.
Mm-hmm. That's the full greeting that the sisters will give all the time. There's no change in what the sister in the greeting that the sisters give. It's the same. Whether that sister is greeting another sister or whether that sister is greeting a brother. What changes is when the brother is greeting a sister versus when he greets a brother. Right. That's what changes. But whenever a sister greets a brother, she always says the same thing. Yahweh Shema Al Atha, Hashem Yahweh Shah. always the same. Okay? And with that, pass the class over to the precinct officer, Shabaya Oliver. Come right here, stand in front of me.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. Started out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. Y'all will be saluted on. Y'all here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi 3, chapter 8, verse 10. Means 10 in Hebrew. Ma'ashara. 10% of any increase, salaki. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations.
The upcoming holy convocation is June the 20th. And it is the closing of the Feast of First Fruits. And of course, we're going to, be here for that.
Anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. And with that, I'm Michael. Wapin Yah Adam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Avanah, Shabbat Shemayim, Qadash, Hayah, Shakah, Yahweh, Malakah, Kama'ah, Matzah, Hayah, Ashah, Barakzah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, the third the come, Kal, the one, the Salah, Kabawati, Kasalak, Kabawati, Wala, Kabiana, Ball, Kabashana, Mayan, Rak, Kaya, Ka, Malak,
in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom come,
will be done,
thy will be done,
in earth, as it is in heaven, Give us this day, our daily bread, forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
So be it. Sorry, men of Israel. We're going to do 130 salute to the teacher, men of Israel, Michael Shabbat, Michael, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Sorry, Sister Stanley. We're going to give 130 salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Michael Shabbat, Michael, Barak, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh Shabbat, Yahweh class dismissed. That's why you won't be watching it right
So the research is trying to change the neutral. So you pay for what you need.
Oh, that was your phone.
Yeah.
Put the camera back right here.
All I
is my course. I'm a ride with you, look at me, I'm a boss. Kill them all like a boss. Nigga, you better stop it. All about my profit. You should know like a rocket. Who got the bloody niggas on the board? He go hard and go hard. Step 30 foot court. All I got is my neck. All I fear is my ball. All I bring is that smoke. I put him on the Pearl Harbor. He ain't real, he alive. If he real, one power. Now his ass to the fire. If he got till I die. Please don't cross the line. Stop trying to pull himself his blood wide. I'm on the line. Let's get to it. Double time and believe. Doing something that I'm putting on the end. So I ain't moving with precision. All of every only thing. Let's get to it. Nigga, no shit, get to it. Ain't taking no shit, get to it. You take a lot, try to bounce back, but you good. Let me show you how to do it. I'm just feeling like proof. For a fool, make it do it. Nigga, ain't nothing to it. Ain't no doubt, ain't no excuse. Let's get to it. A lot of hate for no reason. Probably don't understand. That's why I got the next plan. And all the power in my hand. Sing the shit up the man. Better watch who you stand. You're flamed up and chained up for nobody. You're wrong, man, what you know about? This ain't a way, this is nation. Ain't a really disrespect. Fake niggas like a fire. A lot of niggas ain't fake. I'm telling you correct. Going a whole bunch of souls. They moving by the stretch. When you go to the edge, all the niggas in the edge. Them niggas get me screaming. I be mad, yo, bitch. Cause I'm a nigga, I be fold. But you know a nigga hold. Nigga, look how I'm rolling. Show the check by the man. He's smooth, but I'm clean. Front like I can feel it. He remember Seraphim. Yeah, boy, yeah. I got it to look about to have a baby. But I still wanna breathe it. Let's get to it. Let me come for the dream. I ain't gonna stick this bitch. Like all about the bitch. I'm solid every lick. You can't even breathe. I'll tell you when you kill it. That's why I'm gonna kill it. Bleed it, hurt. I ain't smart bitches, nigga. You need a hit it. I know you can hit it. I'ma bet you a look. And God, you a dumb true on the book. I'ma get your cook. Ain't nothing you can tell me like two money. Let's get to it.
Bitcoin, the best money we've ever had. With a different kind of money comes a different kind of card. Crypto.com.
Yeah. Boy. Look, I keep it on to the T. UPK pay for kings. Ain't shit sweet. Got so thick. And my youngin' get a sweet. This a whole nother way, boy. Tell them get the fuck off the beach, boy. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here to preach. Nigga, all black, yellow, jack, man. All the niggas go retreat. All black, yellow, jack, man. All the niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here to preach. All black, yellow, jack, man. All the niggas go retreat, boy. This shit's too weak. I'm on board, they don't believe. You know I'm winning with the team. Jimmy, bitch. And the devil screaming out, bloody murder. Nobody cut the curse. On my pride, on the murder. Sorry, all the lies, niggas hurt. Niggas weak, want to take a church. On my way, nigga, that's absurd. They cross the line, I'm a back, talking up my head, they in this life. And I couldn't do 300 strong, 144 at night. Put my niggas weak. With this bitch with the ice. That all y'all do the street. Tell y'all to do the street. The nigga made the wrong move, he made it, I said, can't find us in the league. Can't find us in the break. So, all that, cause it's that man, all the niggas go treat, bro. I keep it all to the T. UPK pay for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on the thing, and my youngin' get a sweet. This a whole nother way. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. Ain't one of us here to breach. Nigga, all black, yellow, jack, man. All the niggas go retreat. All black, yellow, jack, man. All the niggas go retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. Ain't one of us here to breach. All black, yellow, jack, man. All the niggas go retreat. Look, that's on my face. It's tough for real with it. I hit the street, but all my kids was in the field with it. You saw this guy just at the Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move and I can steal it. I speak true cause it's necessary. Color Jack revolutionary. Cold on him like January. Commander Jenner is a visionary. No food, no sweets. Your preach man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's war time for people. Think you hard, nigga, you can't. But with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We run back this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall over, that's cap shit. shit, I carry it on to the team. Duplicate the kids, ain't shit sweet, got souls on thick, and my never get a sweet. It's a whole other way, tell the nigga fuck on the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats, ain't one of us here preach. And don't do all black, belly jack, man, all them niggas go treat. Come through all black, belly jack, man, all them niggas go treat. I'm in the field with the cleats, ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black, belly jack, man, all them niggas go treat, bro. Let me tell you niggas about her whole mind. She was cool at first and didn't hold and lost her whole mind. She was coming over cooking, had a nigga eating right. Yeah, the chicken in the oven, boiling up some tender rice. By the time I would find that his hoe was always lying. When he catching her lies, the bitch resorted crying. Realized she for the streets, it ain't taking much time. Had a nigga calling me, blowing up my fucking line. I was all something, bitches that were retarded, calling me is just a brother. Yeah, as if I bought it, better be cautious. These hoes is up for auction. You taking home a woman that gave a box to the audience. If it's gonna be a movie, the watch your party with sausage. But we ain't that one for you, then you have really lost it. Sorry, I'm being honest, the truth will come out regardless. So let this be a reminder that some of you bitches are it's cold for a week, but when you meet the fine, she for the streets. She gon' bust it for the teeth. She for the streets, we at home for the streets. Don't take a pussy cause it's weak. When you get comfy, you belong in the streets. You tell me that she doesn't like a beat. Yeah, trust her like he's over for the streets. $40, $40. Say it 3 times that she sure get that pussy pop. She put you in the brands on. I think she don't let 100 niggas run $100 through her eggs on. I wore a hand-me-down clothes, not a hand-me-down hole, so I refuse to let you hand-me-down clothes. Yeah, she won't accept, I suppose, you would break the whole look and buy a ring and propose to the third one. The only know she got it down, she goes and fucking around in your bros and busting it when you roll. Yeah, no, I won't be a hole like JT said in that song. Might as well let her go, let her go. Yeah, I don't about she bad and how she even slag. The woman was glad, but she wash her face with her ass rag. Real ass bitch, give a fuck by the nigga. And one of you hoes and get a fuck out of nigga. Yeah, she was going for a week, but when you meet the fine, she for the streets. She gon' bust it for the teeth. She for the streets, we at home for the streets. Don't take a pussy cause it's weak. When you get comfy, you belong in the streets. You tell me that she doesn't like a beat. Yeah, trust her like he's over for the streets. I met the bitch outside of my complex. Bitch so fine, like she running for a contest. Ass so nice, so I'm thinking I should wipe that. Have a couple kids, settle down, yeah, I like that. Brother bitch capping and acting like a straight right. Never wanna settle down, let a nigga wipe up. Rather hit the club, shaking ass and be tossed up. Bitch straight nasty, no class, sassy. At the back for a bitch in the backseat. Nothing but a gold digger, never should've fucked with her. Now she at the crib, see her cause she hung up. But bitches ain't shit, goddamn, what's wrong with her? Just a waste of time, stupid bitches always time. Always fucking full of down, keep my money in my mind. Never trust no bitch, cause a bitch will be a bitch. And a bitch gon' switch or something, another nigga bitch. Many hoes for the streets. Many hoes for the streets. Yeah, he hoes for the streets. I said he hoes for the streets. Many hoes for the streets. Many hoes for the streets. Yeah, he hoes for the streets. I said he hoes for the streets. She was home for a week, but when you meet the fine, she for the streets. She gon' bust it for the teeth. She for the streets, we at home for the streets. Don't take a pussy cause it's weak. When you get free, you know these streets.